If you hear the sound at night, it's already too late. You are walking alone in the darkness, near the train tracks. Silent now, abandoned. Something moves in the shadows ahead. You hear it before you see it, a sound, rhythmic, persistent, like something being dragged across concrete, and it's getting closer. Your heart races. A figure emerges from the darkness. At first glance, it almost looks human, almost. But the lower half of its body is simply gone. It drags itself across the concrete with its hands or her elbows, the sound of bones striking stone echoing into the night. Teke-Teke, and it's tracking you. Decades ago in Osaka, Japan, a tragedy unfolded on the train tracks. A young woman or a student, depending on who tells the story, stepped onto the rails. Some say it was an accident, a moment of distraction, a misstep that couldn't be undone. Others whisper something darker, a deliberate act, a final choice. No one truly knows what happened that night, but what happened next. That part of the story never changes. A train came. The lower half of her body was severed in an instant. The pain, the shock, the realization that her life had just fractured into two halves. What remained on those tracks was no longer fully human. The upper half was still conscious, still aware, still suffering. She dragged herself away from the scene, inch by inch through the night. From that moment onward, a new entity was born. Something that refused to die. Something that refused to stay buried. It became known as Teke-Teke, and the sound of its movement became the most dreaded noise in Japanese urban legend. Teke-Teke is not a ghost in the traditional sense. Ghosts are incorporeal, transparent, ethereal. But Teke-Teke is solid, real, tangible. Those who claim to have encountered it describe the same details every time. It crawls on its hands, palms flat against the ground, pulling itself forward with unnatural strength. Its torso, what remains of it, scrapes against the concrete, again and again, creating that unmistakable sound. Every movement is horrifyingly real. Impossible to forget once you've imagined it, impossible to unsee. But here's what makes Teke-Teke truly terrifying. It doesn't stay in one place. For decades, it has been sighted across Japan, in subway tunnels beneath Tokyo, in the darkness of underground stations, on empty roads at 3 a.m. when no one else is awake, in parking lots surrounded by concrete and silence, always moving, always searching. Those who encounter it report the same outcome: overwhelming dread, an inability to move or scream, and then nothing. Because according to the legend, no one who truly encounters Teke-Teke survives to tell the tale. Or if they do, they are marked, changed, haunted forever by what they've seen. But Teke-Teke doesn't just kill, it has a purpose, an intention. It seeks to make others like itself, to transform them, to split them in half and condemn them to the same eternal crawl through darkness. Each encounter adds a new detail to the legend, shifts the story slightly, makes it feel more real, more present, more terrifying. Teke-Teke survives in the Japanese consciousness for a reason. It's not just a schoolyard ghost story told to frighten children, though it is that. It embodies something far deeper, a fear that is universally human. The fear of sudden death, of accidents, of the moment when everything changes in an instant and there's no going back. The terror of the unknown, that something exists just beyond our perception, watching, waiting. The horror of becoming less than human, of being broken, dragged through existence, diminished and suffering forever. Teke-Teke taps into all of these fears at once. Japan has not forgotten this legend. It lives in films and television shows, in manga and graphic novels, in video games where players hear that sound and their pulse quickens. Each retelling strengthens its grip on the imagination. Each generation passes it down to the next. From Osaka to Tokyo, from the countryside to the cities, whispers tell of sightings in empty stations late at night, of the sound of dragging on concrete when no one else is around. Parents warn their children not to wander near train tracks after dark. Teenagers dare each other to listen for Teke-Teke on quiet roads. Commuters feel uneasy on the subway, always listening, always wondering. But here's the paradox that makes this legend truly unshakable. No one knows exactly when and where this terrifying urban myth started. No official incident matches the story perfectly. No documented death on the rails of Osaka created Teke-Teke. I cannot pinpoint when the legend began, and yet it persists. Legends do not endure because they're true. They endure because they touch something we cannot escape. The fear of the unknown. The terror is not in what we see, but in what we cannot see. The shadow that moves just beyond our vision. The sound that could be behind you right now. The broken thing that crawls through the night. And maybe that's the real horror of Teke-Teke. It doesn't matter if it's real, because the fear is real. The unease is palpable. So if you ever find yourself near the train tracks at night, listen carefully, just in case. And if you want to survive more legends like this one, support the channel.